founder and CEO of Natrium Capital, and I'm delighted to be talking to Dr. Jansz, one of our senior advisors.
Thank you, Alasdair. Nice to be here.
Just when we first met, you were a director of Basel, and I was advising Shell on the sale of the company to Len Blavatnik and Access Industries. Perhaps you can give us a little bit more background on yourself and what you've done since then.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as you know, I have a technical background. I spent the first 30 years of my career at Shell, Basel, and then LyondellBasell. And when you and I first met, I was president of technology business at Basel, overseeing technology licensing, polyolefin catalyst business, as well as new ventures. I continued actually in that role when Basel was sold, and then subsequently LyondellBasell was formed. Around 2011, I decided to go plural as independent director and advisor. And shortly thereafter, I accepted your invitation to join Natrium. And I must say, delighted absolutely to be working with yourself and the team. Very enthusiastic, many young people, great fun. I've continued to be active in the petrochemical and polymer value chain. Have worked with a broad range of companies over the years, and in the process developed a keen interest in the plastic circular economy, which, as you know, is one of the main trends driving the industry and driving change in the industry.
Great. Well, let me start with a controversial question. Is there a future for single-use plastics?
I should have expected a challenging question, of course. It's one of your strengths. And the answer is a very straight yes. Let's first recognize the importance of plastics in our everyday life, really, and the benefits that they bring to society, including single-use plastics. We think of hygiene, medical, as we were reminded by the COVID challenge, but also food preservation, clean water, lightweighting, construction, transportation, etc. Having said that, it's clear that the chemical industry has a problem, and it has recognized that it needs to address two important challenges if it wants to retain its, what I would call, license to operate. The most visible of those is to address the urgent plastic waste problem. And think about it, that every year, I should say, it's not that bad, 10 million tons of plastic waste ends up in the ocean. That's a lot. However, perhaps even more challenging is the need to reduce the carbon footprint. The decarbonisation is really a big issue for the industry. And as you can see now that there are an increasing number of initiatives being targeted at the transition towards a circular carbon economy. And it could be envisaged that what I would call a new normal is evolving, in which waste, plastic waste, but also biomass and renewable resources become important new feedstocks.
Okay. Many companies are focusing on mechanical recycling, but that can only solve part of the problem. What do you think about other solutions like chemical recycling?
Yeah, it's logical to start with mechanical recycling, and that will continue to play a role, but it has its limits, as you say. The next step then being chemical recycling, and you have to think about things like pyrolysis, gasification, use of certain solvents, including supercritical water. But if you look at it, creating full circularity needs this kind of additional technologies. But the big challenge in all these ones is scale. That's the real challenge that has to be addressed. And what you see is that there are many innovative companies globally coming up with new and interesting approaches. They all need funding, and we speak to many of them, of course. There is actually a lot of potential ESG funding available, but many investors are looking to de-risk their involvement with early stage initiatives. I recall from my early days in the industry, the saying really was, everybody wants to build the second plant, as you know, but you need first one first, right? So yeah. That's a bit of a catch-22 that we have to deal with.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for those insights. Natrium Capital is working with a number of companies looking for funding, and we expect to be part of the M&A development of this industry through a set of mergers that we think will take place over the next 2 to 3 years. Thank you.